Please subscribe to our new channel, Bookish English 2, link in the description. We're moving there because of a problem with our main channel. Hello, my friend. Today, I want to tell you a simple story. This story is about how I started to talk in English. I was not always good at speaking. I was shy. I was quiet. I was scared. But something small changed everything for me. That small thing was listening. When I was young, I did not speak English at all. I knew a few words like hello or thank you, but that was it. One day I found a small English story on my phone. I did not understand it, but I listened. The voice was slow. The words were soft. I liked the sound of it, so I listened again and again. Every day I listened to that story. At first, it was just sound, but then some words became clear. I heard boy, run, home, and happy. I didn't know all the words, but I felt the meaning. I felt the story. And something inside me said, "This is working." Listening became my secret tool. I listened when I walked. I listened when I cleaned my room. I even listened before bed. It was easy. I didn't have to speak. I didn't have to read. I only had to listen. And slowly, my brain started to understand. I started to feel the rhythm of English, like a soft song. Then, one day, I tried to say the words out loud. I felt shy, but I did it. I repeated the sentence I heard in the story. The boy is happy. My voice was soft, but it felt good. I said it again. The boy is happy. I smiled. I was learning. So, my friend, this is my first tip for you. Listen. Listen every day. Listen to small stories, short talks, simple songs. It does not matter if you don't understand everything. Just listen. Let the words come into your ears. Let them stay in your heart. When you listen, you learn the way English sounds. You learn how the words connect. You learn new words without trying too hard. It's like learning your first language when you were a baby. You listened first, then you talked. There is something more. When you listen, you also become brave. You don't feel alone. You feel that English is part of your life. And this is very important. To speak English, you must feel close to it. You must feel like English is your friend. I remember one special moment. I was in a shop. A tourist came in. He asked, "Do you speak English?" My heart started to beat fast. I wanted to say no. But then I remembered my story. I remembered the words I heard every day. I said, "A little." He smiled. I smiled. We talked for just 1 minute, but it changed my life. I felt strong. That is the magic of listening. It makes you ready. It gives you courage. So please, listen every day. Don't say, "I'm not ready." You are ready when you listen. Also, listen with love. Don't think, "I must learn fast." Number. Just enjoy the sound. Enjoy the story. Enjoy the journey. If you enjoy it, you will come back to it every day. And if you come back every day, you will grow. I want to tell you something I always say. The more you listen, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you speak. This is true. This is how I did it, and you can do it too. So today, begin with one story, a short story. Listen to it one time, then 2 times, then 5 times. Tomorrow, listen again. Repeat one sentence out loud, just one. That's all. Then smile, because this is your first step. This is how your journey begins. And remember, every big tree starts from a small seed. Your listening is that small seed. If you take care of it, it will grow into a big, strong tree. A tree that speaks English. Chapter 2. Speak even if you're not perfect. When I first tried to speak English, I felt nervous. My hands were cold. My mouth was dry. I wanted to say something, but the words stayed in my head. I was afraid of making mistakes. I thought people would laugh at me, but something important happened, something small that changed everything. I made a mistake and no one laughed. They smiled. They helped me, and I learned. Speaking is the heart of learning a language. You can listen all day, you can read many books, but if you don't speak, you will never feel free in English. When I learned this, I decided to speak every day, even just a little. I spoke to myself, I spoke to the mirror, I spoke to my cat. At first it felt funny. I laughed, but slowly it felt real. The more I spoke, the more I believed in myself. One day I was walking in the park. I saw a tourist asking for directions. No one stopped to help him. I took a deep breath. I walked up and said, "Can I help you?" My voice shook, but I said it. He smiled. "Yes, please," he said. We talked for only 2 minutes, but those 2 minutes made me feel like a hero. Not because I was perfect, but because I tried. This is why I tell everyone, speak even when it's hard. Speak even when you feel shy. Speak even when your grammar is wrong, because every time you speak, your English gets stronger. Your brain learns faster. Your fear becomes smaller. When I was learning, I made many mistakes. I said she when I meant he. I said go-ed instead of went. But guess what? Those mistakes helped me remember the right words. I never forgot went after I said go-ed, and someone corrected me kindly. Mistakes are not bad. They are your teachers. I had a friend who was learning with me. We spoke together every evening. Sometimes we didn't know what to say, so we talked about simple things, like food, or the weather, or our pets. We laughed a lot. We corrected each other. It was fun. That practice made a big difference. If you don't have someone to talk to, don't worry. You can still speak. Talk to yourself. Look at something and say its name in English. This is a chair. That is a window. Then try to say a sentence. The chair is brown. The window is open. This simple practice trains your mouth, your brain, and your confidence. Another thing that helped me was shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to someone speaking English, and then you repeat after them, like an echo. You try to copy the sound, the tone, the speed. I used to do this with cartoons. I would pause after each sentence and repeat it. It was fun and powerful. I learned how to sound more natural. Speaking every day, even a little, makes a big change. I used to speak just 2 sentences a day, then 5, then 10. And soon, I was having full conversations, not perfect conversations, but real ones. I could share my ideas, I could ask questions, I could understand answers, and I felt proud. Sometimes people think, I will speak when I am ready. But that day never comes if you wait too long. The truth is, you become ready by speaking. The more you speak, the more ready you feel. So speak now. Speak today. Remember this: you don't have to be perfect to speak. You just have to be brave. English is not a test. It's a way to share your thoughts, your feelings, your world, and people want to hear your voice. If you feel scared, smile. Take a deep breath. Say one sentence. That's your step. One small step each day becomes a big journey. Speak a little today, then a little more tomorrow. Day by day, your English will grow. And when someone hears you speak and says, "Wow, your English is good," you will smile. You will remember these small steps. You will know you did it. Chapter 3. Read easy things, learn big things. When I was learning English, I found something magical. Books. But not big books with hard words. I started with small books. Books made for children. The sentences were short. The pictures helped me understand. At first I felt shy. I thought, I am too old to read children's books. But I was wrong. Those small books helped me grow faster than I ever thought. My first English book was about a bird. It was lost in the forest. The bird looked for its home. The story was simple, but I loved it. I read it again and again. The more I read it, the more I understood. The words became my friends. I learned how the bird flew, how the bird cried, and how the bird found home. These new words stayed in my mind because I felt something. The story touched my heart. Reading is powerful. It teaches you new words, new ways to say things, and new ways to think. But you don't have to read big books. Start small. A short story, a comic, a page from a simple book. Read what makes you smile. Read what makes you curious. That's the secret. When I read, I always did 3 things. First, I read for fun. I didn't worry about every word. If I didn't understand one word, I kept going. I looked at the picture. I guessed the meaning. And many times, I was right. Second, I picked 5 new words. I wrote them down. I learned how to say them. Then, I made my own sentences with those words. That helped me remember. Third, I read the same story again the next day. Each time I read it, I understood more. The story became part of me. You can do the same. Find a short story you like. Read it today. Read it tomorrow. Pick your favorite sentence and say it out loud. Write it down. Draw a picture if you want. Make it fun. That's how reading becomes a habit. One day, I found a book with no pictures. At first I thought, this is too hard. But I tried. I read 1 page a day. I didn't know every word, but I didn't stop. I used a small dictionary. I underlined the words I didn't know. I looked them up. Then, I tried to use those words when I talked. Slowly, I became more confident. Reading also helped me write better. When you read, you see how sentences are made. You learn how to use and, but, because, and other words that connect ideas. I started writing my own little stories. I wrote about my dog, my school, my dreams. The more I read, the easier it became to write. I also loved reading signs, menus, and posters. I read everything in English that I could find. One day, I saw a sign in English at the bus stop. It said, "Buses may be late due to rain." I felt happy. I understood it. It was a small moment, but it showed me I was growing. That is what reading does. It opens your eyes. It helps you feel brave. It makes English part of your world. If you want to speak better, start reading. Not to study, not to test yourself, but to enjoy. To feel the story, to meet new words, to grow slowly, day by day. Don't say, "I'm not good at reading." Say, "I will try." Try one page. Try one sentence. Let your heart follow the words. Even if you read only 5 minutes a day, that is enough. Those 5 minutes will build your future. A future where you speak, write, and understand English with joy. So today, choose a book. A small one. Open it. Read one page. Read it again. Say the words out loud. Smile. You are learning. You are growing. You are doing something great. Chapter 4. Write your words, find your voice. When I started learning English, I listened. Then I spoke. Then I read. But something was still missing. I wanted to remember the words I learned. I wanted to use them in my own way. That's when I found the secret. Writing. Writing helped me more than I ever thought. It was simple, and it was powerful. It helped me remember, practice, and express myself. At the beginning, I wrote small things. I wrote my name. I wrote, "I am happy." I wrote, "Today is sunny." My sentences were not long, but they were mine. I made them. That made me feel proud. Every time I wrote something in English, I felt like I was building a house, one word at a time. I had a little notebook. I called it my English book. I carried it everywhere. In the morning, I wrote about my dreams. In the afternoon, I wrote about what I ate. At night, I wrote about how I felt. I made mistakes, many mistakes. Sometimes I forgot a word. Sometimes I used the wrong grammar. But I kept writing. I did not stop. I did not wait to be perfect. Writing is a mirror. It shows you what you know and what you don't know. It also shows you how much you've grown. One day, I looked at the first page in my notebook. The sentences were short and simple. Then I looked at the last page. The sentences were longer. The ideas were clearer. I smiled. I had become better. You don't need a big plan to start writing. Just write what is in your heart. Write about your day. Write about your food. Write about the sky. Even simple things help. I remember once I wrote, "The sky is blue. The sun is bright. I feel good today." It was short, but it helped me feel more connected to English. Another good way to write is by using the new words you learn. If you learn 5 new words today, try to make 5 sentences, or write a small story using those words. For example, if you learn run, fast, dog, chase, and fun, you can write, "My dog likes to run. He runs very fast. I chase him in the park. It is fun." This helps you remember the words and use them in real life. Sometimes I wrote letters to myself. I wrote, "Dear me, you are learning. You are growing. Don't give up." It helped me stay strong. You can write letters too, to yourself, to your future, or to a friend. Even if no one reads them, they help you practice and grow. One day I wrote a short story about a little rabbit. The rabbit wanted to learn English. The rabbit was scared at first. But then it started to listen, speak, read, and write. At the end of the story, the rabbit spoke English with joy. That rabbit was me. Writing that story made me feel strong. It helped me believe in myself. You don't need to write a book. You just need to start. 1 sentence a day, then 2, then a short paragraph. If you do this every day, your English will become better and better. You can also try writing what you hear. Listen to a short English story or video, then write down what you remember. Try to write the same sentences or use your own words. This helps your memory and builds your confidence. Writing is not only for practice, it's also for your heart. It helps you understand your thoughts. It helps you feel free. When I write in English, I feel calm. I feel clear. I feel happy. You will feel the same. So today, get a notebook or open a page on your phone. Write something, anything. It can be one word. It can be one line. It can be a feeling. But write. Make it yours. Because when you write, you are not just learning English. You are discovering your voice. And your voice matters. Chapter 5. Watch, listen, and learn from real life. After I started writing every day, I felt more confident. But there was still something missing. I could write, I could read, I could speak simple things. But sometimes, I didn't understand when people talked fast. Their words came quickly. Their sentences were long. I needed a new way to learn. That's when I started watching English videos, and everything began to change. At first, I watched cartoons. They were easy to follow. The characters spoke slowly. The pictures helped me understand. One of my favorite cartoons was about a dog who wanted to be a superhero. He wore a red cape and helped his animal friends. I laughed while watching, but I also learned many new words. I heard words like brave, help, and danger. I didn't just hear the words, I saw them in action. That helped me remember. Watching videos is a fun way to learn. You hear how real people speak. You learn their tone, their speed, their feelings. I started to copy them. When they said, "Let's go," I repeated, "Let's go." When they said, "Are you okay?" I said the same. I was not just watching. I was learning, feeling, speaking all at once. Then I started watching simple English movies. In the beginning, I turned on the subtitles. I read the words while listening. If I didn't understand a word, I paused and looked it up. I wrote it in my notebook. The next day, I tried to use that word in a sentence. Watching a movie became a lesson, not just fun. I also watched the news. Not hard news, but simple news for English learners. They spoke clearly. They used real words from real life. I learned how to say, "The weather is sunny." There was a small fire. People are working together. These are real things people talk about every day. Then I found YouTube videos with teachers who explained grammar, words, and pronunciation. I watched one video every day. Some were only 5 minutes long, but I always learned something. One teacher said, "Repeat after me." So I did. I repeated every word out loud. That helped me train my mouth and ears. The best part of watching videos is that it feels easy. You are not reading a book. You are not doing a test. You are just watching. But your brain is learning fast. You hear the natural way people speak. You learn the music of the language, the up and down, the pauses, the stress. And without knowing it, you start to speak better. Sometimes I watch the same video again and again. The first time, I just watched. The second time, I repeated the words. The third time, I closed my eyes and tried to remember the sentences. Each time, I learned more. I also listened to English songs. I picked slow songs with clear words. I sang along. I did not sing well, but I did not care. I was learning. I felt the rhythm. I felt the joy. Songs helped me remember words for a long time. And I did one more thing. I changed the language on my phone and computer to English. At first, I felt lost. I didn't know what every word meant. But soon, I learned. I started to understand words like settings, volume, download, update. These are real-life words that help you every day. Learning from videos, songs, and daily life made my English feel real. It was not just a subject in a book. It was part of my world. It was around me all the time, and because of that, I learned faster. So, if you want to talk better in English, watch something today. A cartoon, a video, a short movie. Listen to an English song. Change your phone's language. Let English be part of your world. You don't have to understand everything. Just watch, listen, and feel. Your brain is smart. It will learn little by little. Watch with joy. Watch with curiosity. And one day, when someone speaks to you in English, you will smile. Because the words will feel familiar. You will understand. And you will speak back with confidence. Chapter 6. Speak a little. Every day, your secret to success. Speaking English every day was the final piece of the puzzle. I had listened, I had read, I had written, I had watched videos. But nothing helped me grow faster than speaking a little every single day. Not just once a week, not only in class, every day, even for 5 minutes, even when I was alone. That daily habit became my secret to success. At first, I didn't know what to say. I stood in front of the mirror and just said my name. My name is Sarah. Then I said where I lived. I live in a small town. Then I said how I felt. I am happy today. I smiled. I heard my own voice in English. It felt strange, but it also felt beautiful. I made a small rule. Speak 3 sentences every day. Just 3. That was my promise to myself. Some days I said, "It is hot today. I will drink water. I feel sleepy." Other days I said, I read a book. The book was fun. I like stories. It didn't matter what I said. What mattered was that I spoke. Soon I started talking more. I described everything I saw. The sun is bright. That cat is running. My shoes are old. I talked to myself while I cooked, while I cleaned, even while I walked outside. Speaking became a natural part of my day, like brushing my teeth or eating breakfast. And then something amazing happened. One day I met a tourist at the train station. She looked lost. I walked up to her and asked, "Do you need help?" She smiled and said, "Yes, please." We talked for a few minutes. I gave her directions. I told her about the train times. When she left, she said, "Your English is very good." I almost cried. I had worked hard for that moment. That's the power of daily speaking. Small talks lead to big success. You become ready without even knowing it. You don't have to think too much. The words just come out. Mistakes? Yes, I made them. Many times. I said things the wrong way. But each mistake taught me something new. If I said, "I goes to school," and someone corrected me, "You mean I go to school," I remembered it. And I used it correctly the next time. So don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are your teachers. Sometimes I used voice messages. I recorded myself speaking and sent them to my friend who also learned English. She sent her voice back. We corrected each other. We laughed at our mistakes. It was fun. You can do this too. Find a speaking partner, or just record your voice and listen to it later. You will hear how much you improve. Other times I joined online speaking groups. People from all over the world were there. Some spoke well. Some were just starting. But no one judged. Everyone wanted to learn. We asked simple questions. What's your name? What did you eat today? What do you like to do? Those small questions helped us practice everyday English. Even if you are shy, you can speak. You can whisper to yourself. You can speak to your pet. You can speak while looking in the mirror. The most important thing is to speak a little every day. One sentence becomes two. Two become five. Five become a full conversation. Make it part of your routine. Say something when you wake up. Say something before you sleep. Say something while eating or walking. Every word you say is a step forward. I remember a time when I couldn't say one full sentence, and now I can have a full conversation. I didn't get here by magic. I got here by speaking a little every day. That was my greatest way to talk in English. So today, say something in English. Anything. Just open your mouth and speak. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait to feel ready. Speak now. Speak simply. Speak with joy. Because speaking a little every day is not just a practice. It is your path. It is your power. It is your success.